Well, moving up the quality ladder, Daniel, you caught up
Yes.
on a movie that just hit streaming.
Yes, I did. And watched another movie that you saw in the theater that I didn't, and finally, finally got to watch and enjoy. Transformers One, which hit Paramount Plus last week, I believe. Um, and yeah, I enjoyed this movie a lot. I think it's I would say probably better than any of the live action movies, certainly. Even better than like Bumblebee or the first Bayformers movie. Um,
It did have the unfair advantage of not having to come up with a bunch of human characters.
yes, exactly. Yeah, because it's entirely on Cybertron, which is a first, I think,
Hmm.
or at least the most of the time they're on Earth. Because the whole premise behind it is the Autobots and the Decepticons are at war, and Cybertron is out of resources, and so they go to Earth to find resources, and
Hmm.
continue their war on Earth and all that. But this one is, of course, the origin story of Optimus Prime, or as he's known through the entirety of the movie, Orion Pax, and D16, who of course later becomes Megatron. Their friendship and being these miners, and then of course Orion Pax, he wants to be more than just a miner. He wants to be, he wants to help their leaders, Sentinel Prime, find the matrix of leadership, and help them bring Energon back to Cybertron so they don't have to keep mining for it all the time. Um, but there's of course a really big twist in there where they find out that Sentinel Prime, much like his counterpart in the Michael Bay movies, he's a bad guy. Uh, and their entire civilization and everything that they have been fighting, they've been working for, is a total lie. And Orion Pax and D16 handle it in different ways. Let's just say.
Yeah, one can kind of take it. The other one kind of has his worldview shattered.
Yeah, yeah. And of course, we meet a lot of the other classic Transformers characters along the way, like Bumblebee, although he's not called Bumblebee, and it's B 117, I think. Two, is that right?
Uh,
Um,
Man, I don't remember. Most of these
yeah,
characters, I just thought of them as their eventual names because I am very much a Transformers tourist.
yeah, yeah. And hey, Ninja, good to see you. And yes, I agree. It's right up there. Yeah. Um, and of course he's and then you have Alita One, who I will say one of the negatives I have of the movie is her being a little too much of a girl boss, and uh in the cringy Marvel esque humor, like it just didn't come across very well. I wasn't really laughing at it. I was just kind of like, okay.
Yeah, I think when I was in the theater, the kids laughed at it. So I get, yeah, if it works for them and it's mostly a kids movie, I can forgive it.
Yeah, yeah. But no, I agree with you that this was a really great movie, and it did not deserve to bomb. It should have been a much bigger success at the box office. It's kind of sad it wasn't, because I would have loved to have seen sequels to this. I would have loved to have seen Transformers 2, where they're the Autobots and the Decepticons actually fighting each other, or they're fighting the Quintessons, or whatever it is that whatever they had planned for a sequel.
It's is possible that but since they were planning this as a sequel, they might have been far enough along with the sequel to continue production of it. I guess it depends on what the toy sales did
Yeah,
ultimately. Um,
yeah,
but I think that unfortunately with the Transformers brand, they're currently eating their seed corn.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of market signals that a lot of studios didn't get properly because of the pandemic. And so Bumblebee, I want to say, came out in 2020.
No, it was
Was it
like
2019?
20. I thought it was older than that. I want
Bumblebee
to say that
movie, 2018. Okay.
2018. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that one kind of underperformed.
Yeah.
Then you had the Beast, Rise of the
Rise of the
Beast, yeah.
Beast. Yeah.
Which that okay. So never mind. This is not This is not the problem of movies underperforming because of the pandemic and them not realizing that they would have underperformed anyway. I
Yeah,
think they've just kind of tired out the brand.
I think so too. Yeah. Yeah, and I think this should be a lesson to every like other studios that have major franchises like this. If you tire out a brand or you alienate an audience, even if you make something that's really good, chances are that audience is not going to turn out to see it.
I'm going to add on to that another observation. So this and Bumblebee, I would say, are from my limited knowledge and experience, the ones that were designed to appeal most to the Transformers faithful.
Yeah.
I think that, and no offense to Ninja, I think that there aren't necessarily enough of them to carry a huge movie by itself. I think that because like Rise of the Beasts didn't do as well as like say The Last Night or whatnot, but it did do better than Bumblebee and it did do better than this. So I think that they had a audience cultivated who weren't so much interested in the characters as they liked big CGI action movies with scantily clad ladies running around screaming and badass guys doing badass things
Yeah.
and or being Shia LaBeouf. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, that's that's probably likely too. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
Kind of
mean,
kind of like how if he came out with like a Green Arrow. Now Green Arrow is a bad example because he had a TV show. It's like if you came out with actually Blue Beetle movie. Who is going to
mm,
possibly care about a Blue Beetle movie? Core DC fans. Are there enough core DC fans at this point to carry a Blue Beetle movie? Apparently not.
no, yeah, yeah, or yeah, yeah, it's unfortunate, because again, like I said, I think this movie deserved a lot more attention, much like another Paramount movie that came out last year or the year before, Dungeons and Dragons.
Last
Uh,
year, yeah.
Last year, yeah.
Yep. Where that one was just both of these were poorly marketed.
Mhm.
And just a quick digression, it sounds like just from initial reviews I'm hearing that the Wicked movie is much better than the marketing would lead you to believe.
Mm.
At least according to Chris Gore and Alan Eng, and I tend to trust their judgment on this type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Ninja says, yeah, so that makes sense. They made Transformers films to be schlock since 2007. So anything that is not schlock is not going to appeal. Yeah, that's
Yeah, it's the unfortunate fact.
yeah.
But like I think that there are just a lot of brands right now that need to take 5 years off. But unfortunately, because this Paramount is in financial trouble and a lot of the other studios are in financial trouble, they can't afford to let them rest, which just means they're going to keep speeding up their heat death.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I definitely recommend this movie. Like I said, it's on Paramount Plus if you have it. Although if you're so inclined, I mean, you could get it, buy it digitally, or I don't know if it's available on physical media or not. But
Let's find out. But yeah, I would say this is worth owning. I'd give this a watch again at some point,
yeah.
if only to show other people.
Oh yeah, yeah. The other thing too I noticed was Megatron kind of reminded me of a bit of like a sort of like a revolutionary leader, in like some third world country
Mm-hmm.
who, like, oh, we're gonna take on this tyrannical dictator, and then he becomes the tyrannical dictator.
It's like that one episode of either The Outer Limits or The Twilight Zone, where the guy takes over Cuba and he becomes Castro by the end of it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't see Transformers 1 being available physically yet, but it does look like it's available for digital.
Okay. Yeah.
Or, get a month of Paramount Plus.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I think the ad-supported tier of Paramount Plus isn't that much.
It's $6.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is coincidentally about the same cost as renting it to watch once. So make of that what you will.
Yeah. And Ninja says he's hopeful that War of the Rohirrim is not going to be both a failure and bomb, though he doubts it. Doubts that it's going to be a successful. Sonic 3 is coming out the next week. Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to make some advanced predictions here. From what I have heard, the American marketing is way more girl bossy than the international marketing for War of the Rohirrim. How do you pronounce that?
Yeah.
So it is very possible that it is American marketers once again being stupid and hyping up the wrong aspects of the movie. Because like Transformers 1, now I didn't see any trailers for this, but I'm told that between the art style and what they hyped up for it, it looked like it was a dumb kids movie instead of being a psychological story of two brothers coming to hate one another.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember the early on they were circulating clips with the scene when they get they're brought before the group that's later called the Decepticons, who are led by Starscream, and Bumblebee making some weird cracking jokes, and it's like, oh geez. Just really cringe humor, and it's like, oh, is that the whole movie?
I'm going to say it. There's a significant part of people in marketing who don't know the audience and don't know their jobs. See 2024 election results.
Yeah.
But okay. And also I think that what I suspect is that for a little bit we're going to see movies that don't necessarily open very huge but get some sort of decent traction based on word of mouth because the marketing hurt them so bad. And that's kind of the opposite job that marketing is supposed to do, isn't it? I mean, maybe I'm old-fashioned that way.
Yeah. Anti-marketing. Yeah.
But then again, even classic marketing can't save every movie.